guys. We're there again. We are there again. These guys are talking about masks and lockdowns, and you know they may try this again.
Hey,
So,
stay to the end. I got a bonus item I'll bet you guys didn't think about.
so guys, I'm gonna share with you, and Junior's gonna share with you the things that we would do if the government announces a lockdown, and you've got like 4 hours notice. We'll say, yeah, there's Rock the rooster over there. So you got 4 hours in this situation before lockdown. The government says end of the workday, get home and stay there. All right. So here's what I'm going to do. The first thing for me is fuel. So I'm going to get in my vehicle, grab my gasoline cans. My wife's going to get in her car, and we're going to go to a gas station first, and we're going to fill both vehicles, and we're going to fill up the gas cans. From there, we are going to a hardware store, farm store, and we're going to get some basic supplies. So here's the kicker, guys. The reality is there's nothing that we're really urgent to have. We actually could lock down right now and we'd be okay. So what we're trying to do is pad our supplies, and hopefully you guys are in a good spot yourself. All right, so we're going to that hardware store. Some things on my list: chainsaw stuff, an extra blade, bar chain and bar oil, 2-cycle mix, and so I'm gonna get that for the chainsaw. What else? I've got a fencing project. Hey, if I'm locked down, I got to think about these projects that I'm going to be working on. I got to finish the fence. So I got to work on these projects. One of these projects is that fence. So I need barbed wire. I need some T-posts. So I'm going to get a bunch of that, and I'll finish that. I'm going to get a bunch of fasteners. I'm also going to get chicken feed, dog food at the feed store, and that's kind of going to round out. I'm going to walk around. I'm going to do a quick walk around and look for something that maybe I didn't think about, but something that I can add to that list. But we're going to be moving fast, guys. We're going to be moving fast because we're going to try to make multiple trips if we can. So, and we want to beat the crowds because you know the crowds are going to be there. All right, from there, we're going to the supermarket. All right, what's the key things for us in the supermarket? Bleach. Bleach has a short shelf life. We need to replace the bleach that we have. We're going to get extra batteries. What else? Dry goods, canned goods, hygiene items. You got to have the hygiene items, guys. I've got to tell you guys, I've got to get my Sam Adams. I like my beer. I drink like one a day maximum, maybe 6 a month. All right, but I'm going to grab a few beers and cookies because I love cookies. I mean, I didn't get like this from ignore the cookies. Now, here's the thing, guys. Avoid the crowds. We're going to avoid the crowds. So maybe instead of Lowe's, I'm going to the local hardware store. All right, instead of the big supermarket, maybe I'm going to Dollar General. All right, so we're going to look for these things because you don't want to get caught up in the crowds. All right, on the second trip, we bought those new gas cans. All right, so we're going to do the same thing: gasoline, farm hardware store, and then grocery store. And we're going to head back. So we're going to make several trips. 4 hours give us a lot of time. And Junior, go ahead and share what you're going to do.
Number one, gas. My wife and I, we're going to leave work, top off our gas tanks. Once we get to the house, one thing we're going to do too is grab our empty gas cans, fill them up. We keep our long-term fuel storage full and rotated, so that shouldn't be an issue. The only thing we should really have is our short-term gasoline stuff that we would use for like lawnmowers and whatnot. So on the way home, right, we said we're filling up gas. I'm heading home, but before we get to the house, here's some things I'm going to get. One, and this depends on how much you need. You kind of know where you're at, but consumables like socks, underwear. If you've got things that are wearing out, it's been on your mind, hey, I need to buy more socks, for example. Go ahead, stop by the store, get that stuff. The other thing is going to be perishable goods. Coffee, milk. You could fill your freezers. Dairy products, cheese, put it in the freezers. This is stuff typically you're not long-term storing unless it's freeze-dried. I even put down here tortillas, and you say, why? Because tortillas take up less space than bread, and I can do just about as many things with them. I can make quesadillas, breakfast burritos, all kinds of stuff. But really, it would be about filling my fridge and my freezer. We're already good on stuff like toiletries. Honestly, I don't need any more toilet paper. I don't need any more shampoo. I don't need any more toothpaste. The other thing, I'm going by Tractor Supply. I'm stocking up on more chicken feed. Now, obviously, if I'm locked down, I'm going to be at the house, which means I'm going to be outside working on projects, getting the property ready for next growing season. So the chickens are going to be free ranging anyway. But I would still get more chicken feed, more animal supplies, dog food, cat food, and honestly, I'm going to walk through Tractor Supply and just look for anything that jumps out at me. The whole time I'm doing this, I'm also coordinating with family. We have other family members close by, coordinating with them if they need anything, what they're planning on doing. And we're splitting this up between my wife and I. And just like Dad already said, the big thing with this is because, especially since none of this is an absolute necessity, avoiding crowds. I'm not going to risk getting into a fight over any of this. So I'm going to try to go to smaller stores or stores out of the way, stores that people are not crowding. Possibly a kerosene heater and a bunch of kerosene. That really depends. If I got a second trip in, I might get that. Right now, we don't have a way to heat the house without utilities, unfortunately. I don't have a wood-burning stove yet. Dad's got one. I'm envious. I need to get one too. But if we lost power through the winter, for example, yeah, we'd be hurting a little bit. I've got a generator and some gasoline stored up, of course, but it's not going to last long term. And also, some of you guys are going to laugh, but comfort items, and for us, it's going to come down to alcohol and cigars. We don't drink that much. But if I'm going out getting supplies, I might as well get a few drinks, right? Because I'm not going to be able to leave the house for a while. I like hard ciders, Reds, apple ale, stuff like that. So we go out, get some of that. I do like to, smoke cigars occasionally. So yeah, I would stop by a local cigar shop if able to, and I would stock up on cigars. Bonus for you guys. Here's one thing, important thing I think for you guys with young kids. You guys may not know it, but we're currently adopting. So we have a young preschool age child, and so one of the things that we would do, a couple things, board games for kids, but also this is something that my parents did with my sister and I growing up. Whether we're doing long road trips, plane rides, is that they would buy different toys and give them to us at certain intervals. When we got a little older, you guys remember the Game Boy Advances? When we moved cross country, we were able to pick out like 2 or 3 Game Boy Advance games, and throughout the week-long trek, we were given, every other day, whatever, given a new game, right? So you always got something fresh to do. I remember being, 4 or 5, moving from California to New York in a Ryder truck. And so what they did then is they bought a bunch of different toys. I think we picked them out beforehand. But the deal was you got a new toy every day. And so that engages your child, that keeps them interested in something fresh, really good for those short-term periods where you need to hold their attention. But I would do the same thing for something like this. I would stop by a store, pick up different toys that I think my kids would like, and then give them new toys. I wouldn't tell them about it, and I would give them new toys. You figure out once every other week, once a month, that's for you to decide. But I would do that because it would be a very stressful time for your kids. They'll be away from their friends. They'll be cooped up in the house with the property. Thankfully for us, where we live, we got land, and really, as long as the neighbors are fine, we could all interact with each other, and no one would be out here to say anything about it.
All right, guys. So think about what you guys would do. The time to plan is now. Let us know in the comment box if there's something that you would suggest for us or something that you're going to do a little different. Give us some ideas. All right, guys. Stay safe and stay prepared.